So we've got Adnaan in Chicago.
Yeah, hey guys, how are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, before we begin, I'm an ex-Muslim, and Tracie, I have to say, will you marry me?
I'm already married.
Oh, are you? Okay, oh, never mind. I don't watch the show, sorry.
But I guess if you're ex-Muslim, maybe that's not a problem. I don't know.
Oh.
No, wait, listen, Muslim is not a problem. Muslims are supposed to have up to 4 wives.
There you go.
Does
it work the other way? I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, as I said, I'm an ex-Muslim, and I needed some information regarding the no true Scotsman fallacy. Whenever I don't bring up religion with my family or my relatives or any other Muslim I come across, but they try to bring me back into the fold, and I point out hypocrisy and double standards, and it always, well, they're not true Muslims, or they're not following the Quran properly.
Right.
So what is the best counter-argument against no true Scotsman?
Okay, well, to start with, you can't really necessarily rely on using your ex-Muslim status as any kind of authority with these people anyway. I'd just like to point out that as an atheist, my point of view on who's a true Muslim or who's a true Christian or whatever is nobody. Because it doesn't matter what's a true Christian or not. It's largely a self-applied label, and all the people who use it at the time have their own conceptions about what a true Muslim or a true Christian or whatever should be. And it's usually whoever agrees with my particular set of doctrines. So, I think that maybe discussing whether you're a real ex-Muslim or not might just be a red herring and take you down a path that you don't really want to go down. You might kind of challenge them and say, well, I thought I was a pretty sincere Muslim, and it turns out you say I never was. How do you know you're a true Muslim? Turns out you could be wrong. But that isn't likely to really sway any particular person's opinion because, of course, they know in their head that they're the true version and you're not.
I have kind of an unrelated question for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If they believe you were never a true Muslim, do they accept that you're not an apostate?
They accept me. I try to be very delicate because there are a lot of issues. There's a lot of... I'm the minority. I'm the only one in my family, and I'm the youngest one, so I have to be very delicate in choosing battles. I'm a very firm advocate of picking your battles.
Sure.
So I try to be very delicate. For the most part, they have accepted it, and I don't push it. Once I become more independent, I will be more vocal. So does that answer your question?
Well, no, what I'm trying to get at is most people would say that you're in a state of apostasy, but if they're claiming you were never Muslim, then you're not an apostate. Do you know what their position is on that?
I have known Muslims who are very adamant and say, no, I should either be forced to convert or I should be disowned. But my family is more laid back because, again, Indians tend to have very large and integrated families. So I don't know how to answer your question. Basically, the question
do they consider you apostate or not? Because if you were never Muslim, then you can't possibly be apostate. So it's
they consider me to be an apostate.
They do consider you apostate.
So they think you're an apostate, but at the
but
same
you were never
time,
Muslim.
they don't think you were ever a Muslim.
No, I was a Muslim when I was younger. I was a Muslim, I believe.
Oh.
But they're saying you were never a real Muslim.
A true Muslim.
No. They say that, like when I bring out examples of like issues that go on in Saudi, issues that go on in India, issues that go out in Indonesia, when I point that out, they say, well, those people aren't following the Quran. They're not the proper Muslim.
Got it.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
So
Thank
they
you
use
for
that as an
clarifying.
excuse for the fact that terrible things befall people in those other countries when Allah
they're not
should
true
be protecting
Muslims.
them.
Right.
Correct. I have a big issue with double standards and hypocrisy and injustice. So I point out, well, how can you say the Quran says this and Saudi is the most Muslim country? How come they're following the Quran? They chop off hands of people who steal.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I don't know, when I encounter, like, I get into a lot more conversations about this with Christians than not, but Christians are always accusing each other of not being real Christians. And when it comes down to that, I, as an atheist, say, I don't want to take sides in this because I know those hand-chopping Muslims over there would say that you're not a real Muslim. So, just coming from the outside, how do I, the atheist, know which one of you is right? Like I know you're totally convinced that those Muslims are not real, and they're totally convinced that you're not real. On what basis do I make a decision? And what's useful about that line of questioning is that it brings in the idea of not believing stuff without good evidence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I see what you mean. What ends up happening is I get very frustrated. They say I don't know what the hell to do. You know, like who's a true Muslim? Who am I supposed to believe? I can't argue with you when you won't give me a definition, and I just shut down the argument, or I just shut down the sense like, okay, I'll read the Quran. I'll try to whatever, and just because it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, remember also, it's good to bear in mind that if you're dealing with completely unreasonable people, you don't have to keep talking to them. It's not benefiting you and it's not benefiting them, and so there's no shame in just walking away from an argument and saying, look, I can't talk to you anymore.
I hear you, but as I said, I have relatives from India this week or past couple of weeks, and again, I avoid them till the end of the day. I really do avoid them, but it's a family thing. I have to see them because obviously they're my relatives. So yeah, it kind of runs into that. So I wasn't sure if there was any logical way to argue.
If you've got a large family gathering, then maybe your goal should be to make sure that people who are maybe sort of in the middle on the fence can see you arguing with these people and they're sounding unreasonable. Then there's a point to talking to them.
But I hear you. My best solution is I'm by myself. My family's all, actually coincidentally, they've gone to a wedding. I decided not to go just because it's much more convenient and a lot easier to just avoid this than to get into those debates. So
sometimes it is.
Be a headache.
Yeah. There's good food at weddings, though.
That's true.
True enough.
Cake and stuff.
One other question I have for you guys. Do a lot of Muslims come in and call? I mean, I don't have the time to sit and watch the whole hour-long show. I just
hardly
catch
ever
on YouTube. Hardly ever?
Honestly.
Yeah, and we appreciate the calls, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm a very big avid fan of you guys. I try to watch as much as I can, but again, I don't have the time to go through.
I remember on the nonprofits this week, I just read a story in the New York Times which mentioned that there are several ex-Muslim groups in America. You might want to look those up.
Yeah, I'm part of it. There's a thing called Ex-Muslims of North America. I'm part of that, and they're growing in other cities, which is awesome. I really appreciate the fact that they're growing, but some of the issues are that threats are real. They are a genuine threat. So we try to keep a very low profile just because safety is a major concern.
Well,
thank you. I mean, if hopefully there are the Muslims listening, but there's a thing called Ex-Muslims of North America. And it's a support group, basically. So, and it's growing in Dallas, Austin, Chicago, New York, Toronto.
That's great.
California.
That is great.
So, cool.
Yeah, and please, we welcome calls from your Muslim family.
Oh yeah, encourage them. Totally.
They will have my head if they saw, if they found out I called you guys.
Send them the clip. Say, hey, I was on TV.
I will. I will post this on the Ex-Muslims webpage, or I'll try to have somebody do that. So hopefully it can get around a little bit.
Cool.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.